wonderful interview segment this week. I will be speaking with the General Secretary of NUPENG. He will be shedding light on the plan the union has to ensure that Seawolf workers get the terminal benefits. Join me. It's good to have you on the program.
Thank you very much, Sharon.
It's been more than 4 years that the defunct Seawolf was taken over by AMCON. Can you give us a brief summary of the process?
Thank you very much. AMCON took over the Seawolf Oilfield Services Limited since January 2014, when Seawolf could no longer meet the obligation, to their lenders, that is First Bank. And AMCON are set up by law, they buy bad debts. So ever since they took over the company Seawolf, they pay the workers for 2 months, 2 to 3 months, and thereafter they appointed the receiver manager, who is now running the affairs of the company.
So I would like to ask you, more than 450 workers were actually laid off. Was the union NUPENG carried along during this process? Never.
We were not carried along. What happened was that when AMCON took over the running of the company Seawolf, they paid, like I said earlier, salaries for about 2-3 months. Thereafter, the rigs were moved from their locations to the shore. If you look at the marina in Lagos here, you will find 2 drilling rigs there. They belong to Seawolf Drilling. So after that, the workers were sent home. And ever since then, we have been talking with the receiver manager and the AMCON for the payment of the terminal benefits for the workers.
But so far, you said that the AMCON didn't consult the union, Seawolf didn't consult the union. I would like to ask you, did the union make any effort to reach the management following this process?
Exactly. When this whole incident occurred, we wrote several letters to AMCON to meet with them. We also sought for audience with the receiver manager. As a matter of fact, we met with the receiver manager on 2 to 3 occasions to discuss about the welfare of the workers, their terminal benefits and outstanding salaries. As we speak, the workers are yet to get their terminal benefits and outstanding salaries.
So would you say that due process was actually followed?
Never. Due process was never followed when AMCON and the receiver manager made the workers redundant.
So what would you have proposed in an ideal situation?
Well, normally when there's going to be redundancy, when workers are supposed to be laid off, the union and the company will enter into engagement. The company will have to tell the union the reason why they are carrying out the redundancy, why the workers can no longer continue employment. But in this instance, there was nothing like that. So it was not properly carried out.
Can you share with us the Nigerian labor laws and how it protects workers when it comes to redundancy in this case?
Yeah, if you look at the Labor Act, Section 20, it says explicit. When redundancy is being contemplated, it is expected that the employer will inform the union or inform the workers of the anticipated redundancy that is coming. And once the union gets such notice, they will have to write to the employer for a meeting to discuss the modalities, to know why and the reason why such redundancy exercise is taking place. But in our relationship with AMCON and Reserve, this was never followed.
Workers are demanding for their terminal benefit. I would like to ask you, the terminal benefit has not actually been paid. Is there any development following this, this issue on ground?
Well, this issue has take a long time. Like I said earlier, we have written several letters to AMCON, trying to engage them. At a point, discussions were going on very well. Before this new board of AMCON came on board, we met with the managing director of AMCON, who demanded that the union should bring their claim, which we did. And also the claims were also given to the receiver manager. There were discussions going on, but after a while, AMCON stopped listening to anybody. They stopped discussing with the union, and the receiver manager has never one day agreed to look at the terminal benefits of these workers. He has always maintained that they are not his workers. He doesn't know them, and as such, it has nothing to do with them.
But we are very much aware that the workers, after serving for several years, were actually thrown into the labor market unprepared for it. How has it been relating with the workers that are affected so far? What has been the news?
Well, as much as possible, we have tried to calm them down, because the way it happened abruptly, some of the workers wanted to take laws into their hands. Even at a point in time, they had to even go to AMCON, the state representative to AMCON offices in Abuja to meet with the managing director of AMCON, and discussions were ongoing, really. But just that we didn't see the end of that discussion any longer. But in our own little way, we have been trying to calm them down, to exercise restraint, so that we're able to drive the process to the end. But the other angle to it is that AMCON saw these workers as a threat coming to their offices. They claimed they were coming there to harass their workers and other persons using that premises. So because of that, they went to court, to seek for an injunction to restrain the union workers from coming to picket or disturb their peace. So because of that, we have been locked in a lawsuit ever since then on this issue. All our attempts to make sure we settle this matter out of court, and for us and AMCON and the receiver manager to sit down and resolve this issue, have proved abortive. This matter has been in court since 2015, so 2014-15. So, and we're in 2018. The workers are suffering, their families are suffering, they are dying, and all that. So, for us, the Federal Ministry of Labor and Attorney General should be able to, look at certain cases which ordinarily they should, advise alternative dispute resolution mechanism to use in resolving them, instead of relying on the courts.
Okay, moving forward, it takes us to the trend of redundancy and casualization of workers, and also losing membership every day due to the fact that workers' rights are not being protected. Workers are losing their jobs every day. So what would you say about this trend of redundancy, and what is the union trying to do to ensure that it's reduced to its barest minimum?
Well, the scale of redundancy in the industry is very worrisome, especially in the past 4 to 5 years, because of drop in the price of crude oil. That has adversely affected, the employment relationship in the industry, which have led to a series of companies closing down. And ordinarily, when a company is closing down, it means the workers are also going home. So we have been battling with saving jobs, tackling redundancy all this while. There's not much we can do, to prevent companies from laying off workers, because of the economic reality. But as much as possible, we try to make sure that maybe the workers are redeployed to other areas. They are reskilled, they are put into other areas that can be useful in the company, so that they can continue to retain them and use them for other purposes. But even as much as we try, some workers are still made redundant. And also come to think of employers, in the industry, we have been fighting casualization, contract staffing for a long time. The employer, because, they want to maximize profit, have always, want to carry out, use contract labor to execute their jobs. Even the jobs of permanent workers, employees, they use contract labor, and this is condemnable. The Federal Ministry of Labor, on their part, have done their best, but I think they still need to do more. And also, maybe the National Assembly also need to look into our legislation, to make sure that this cankerworm is eradicated.
Owing to the fact that the issue of redundancy is a big issue, is there any way that you've been able to probably orientate, to ensure that they are being regularized, or probably even allowed to join union? Because we know that, okay, the law says casualization of staffing should happen between 5 and 6 months. The workers should be actually made a staff. But that aside, moving forward, is there any way that these workers are being probably carried along into the union?
Yeah, what we have decided to do is, in fact, since 1991, when NUPEN first came up with this struggle, a communique was signed where in the industry it was agreed that those workers that cannot be regularized, who are contract workers, will be unionized. So what we have been doing is trying even contract workers to make sure that the employers conform with employment conditions that are universal and as contained in the labor laws. So this is what we have been doing, and we have done well in this area. In Chevron, we have Chevron Contract Workers Group. In RGIP, we have. In Total, we have. So those that are not made staff, we go and unionize them. So that is what we have been doing.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program.
It's my pleasure. You're always welcome.
And that's all we can take on today's edition of the program. Join us next week for a fresh edition of the show. I am Sharon Ijason. Thanks for watching, and remember, labor creates wealth.